Troubles are brewing between the Brawlers and the Ghouls. Meredith and Ethan are crushing, and Doris gets a strike at the bowling alley.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We are at it again. Thank you for joining us for Season 1, Episode 3, After Show of the Reprisal. We are talking all about Episode 3, Emboldened Conflict. Once again, there's a lot to talk about.
Yes.
There's so much that happens in every episode. Doris has a car chase. The Brawlers have their meeting. Doris propositions new teammates. Some people get shot. So much happens.
Yeah.
So stick with us. I'm your host, LaToya, and I'm with my wonderful co-host, suspense and crime connoisseur, I'm going to get it right, Adiamond. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
We couldn't do this without you. We couldn't do this without all of you. So thank you so much for joining. Let's just get to it. Tell me about your overall thoughts for this episode.
I loved it. Lots of action. We start out getting to know the two robbers. The ending is like the best scene probably I've seen this year. She's so darn smart. She is thinking, she's 10 steps ahead of everyone. I admire this character so much. I'm talking about Doris. But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And so I think I don't know if we've ever called the actor who plays Doris by name yet, Abigail Spencer.
Yep.
You are killing this, absolutely killing this. She is such a character, right? And she's so demure at times, so strong. Well, actually, I think that her being demure kind of plays into her strength, because she's also kind of that you don't see her coming. I'm getting ahead of myself. Overall thought for this episode, I thought it was such a good episode. I think every episode gets better and better, and I kind of think that's how it is with the new show, right? The pilot is the beginning, it's the taste, and then as the show grows, the writers grow, the writing gets better, each episode gets better, so...
Yeah, and it's not, I feel like it's flowing. You know, there's no dead space. The story keeps going, and I love that. And I think it's very entertaining. I like it. I don't know what those critics were talking about. I mean, I just don't. I'm loving it more and more as I watch.
I mean, there's a lot to keep track of.
There's a lot to keep track of.
If you're not
hard
in the mindset, right, of keeping track or of following all of the characters and all the storylines, I can understand how maybe it's not the show for you.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a good show that's full of plot twists and turns and interesting characters, and this is definitely that show.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in, which is kind of picking up where we left off. That's what the show does a lot of. It starts a new episode with where the previous episode ended.
We kind of do something a little different because we ended...
True, a little.
We ended with her getting in the car and driving. Boom. Now we come into the two robbers sitting in their car, so we see their faces for the very first time, and we kind of get to see their relationship again a little bit, and that, honestly, I think I'm really loving when I get to see the dynamic between the characters. So we get to see their little dynamic there, and that's right before they go in and rob the bowling alley. So then we kind of backtrack a little bit, get their dynamic and scenario, see their faces, who they are, and then go into the car chase.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about that? Their dynamics?
It's great. There's a true brotherhood there. I really like that. I really the name is escaping me. The driver, the one that was sitting in the driver's seat, the main guy.
Yeah. I don't. The character name or the actor name? Because I don't think we know the character name yet.
Okay. Well, the driver in that beginning scene, he's just as composed and methodical and obviously intelligent as Doris. Yeah. And they are a great couple. Not couple, but they are a great pair. Yeah. Two people that are strong. I love that. And he's just so chill, so smart. You can tell already. So I like it.
I agree. I really like them as a team. And I think that they just make well, first, I think the two robbers together make a really good team, right? And then on top of that, I agree with what you said. I think that Doris and those two guys could be a good team as well.
Well, we get close. We get really close to the end of the episode. I think we'll get there, but I think it's going to be a go. Like, if they don't do it, they kind of have to, first of all, because, well, I don't know. At the end, she gets rid of their problem, and I think that kind of proves their loyalty, but I'm jumping way, way ahead.
Yeah. So, back to... Teamwork. Okay. Teamwork makes the dream work. Anyway, so getting back to this. Last episode ended with a car chase. This episode opens on the two unknown robbers. We're going to get some names. Yep. We're not there yet. Or do we get names in this episode? One guy is Cordell.
And other guy's Alan. Because when she goes and talks to him, she's like, and are you Alan? Because that's the name of their...
Alvin,
that's right.
The
landscaping company. Yes. So... For now, we'll call him Alvin.
Okay, Cordell and Alvin. That works for me. I like them together, right? So in the car, we find out that they have a brotherhood or friendship. Maybe they're related.
They have to be able to trust each other.
Right?
Yeah.
They definitely seem to work well together. Alvin seems to be the leader, if we had to pick a leader, but Cordell is right by his side and is carrying as much weight.
Yeah, supporting,
So I just liked seeing them. Like I said previously, I like the way they handled themselves in that stick up. So that was all good.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, what were you gonna say?
So then we see that car chase.
We see the car chase.
Which is she.
So let's talk about this. The car chase. Okay. She's chasing them, right? She's following them.
Well, first, she's so everybody takes off. Like once the two robbers leave, they
take off.
All the people in the club take off, and they're chasing them.
Right.
So she's right behind them, and she gets in the car of the guy who like gets shot. He's like head is on the horn. She gets him out of it. She starts her chase. And we're inside the car with her. She's like doing the gears up on the, the weird gear by the steering wheel. And she's doing it like, it's so perfect. And every shot makes sense. One person, runs into a house and gets blown up, or like a building gets blown up. Next, she drives somebody off the road. And I bet that person who she drives off the road, they're thinking, what the heck are you doing? Like, we're all thinking that's a buddy's car. And he's like, why are you driving me off the road? She gets him off the road, just picks him off one by one, and, like, doesn't even blink an eye. Like,
I just have to say that this is why shows need more than one host, because we see different things. I'm like, did I even see the same thing? I need to go back and replay it, rewatch it.
We're a good team.
We are.
You see things I do not see. Yeah.
But she was serious about that drive and that chase. But what confused me was when she stopped and they're approaching, and she's like, oh, crap. Because in my mind, I was like, well, what was your plan? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
I didn't think she thought that they were going to stop. I think they were going to stop at the stop sign. I don't think she knew they noticed.
She didn't realize that she had been noticed.
Yes. Because even so, at the very end, of course, they have gotten out of the car. She sees that. And she turns her lights off, and she's creeping. And she sees that there's an open garage to some like landscaping company, Alvin's Landscaping. And then she picks up the pieces, and then I think that she sees the truck drive away. And they go to the stop sign, and I think she thought they were just going to stop and go. And then they stay there, and she's like, okay, so I've been found out.
So she was just trying to get information. She didn't plan on like actually having a confrontation or conversation with them that night.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Well, unfortunately for her, or not according to plans.
And she kept her composure again.
Alvin, right?
Yeah.
Goes to the car in true police fashion.
Well, and here's the beautiful thing is that Cornell is the one who sees her. Cordell is the one that sees her, because then Alvin's like, are you sure? And he's like, there's a bullet hole in the window. And so Alvin then gets out and then goes to her car, and then that's when she's like, oh, S word.
you know that's my favorite line, so will you please say it and say it just the way she says it?
I haven't seen it so good though. What does he say for her? Anyways.
He asks, where are you coming from, ma'am?
Yeah. She's like, are you a police officer? Like, she knows darn well. I love it. But is that what she, exactly?
That's the line.
I feel like you got to get a close up on me and do it.
And it's the body language, and it's the almost kind of flirtatious in the body language. And I was thinking the same thing when he walked to her car and he asked that question. I was like, who are you, the police? Yeah. And so it was so fitting that she asked
But she wasn't even like aggro about it. She was like, honestly asking, are you the police? Right. Like, just like, oh, she's so good.
I loved it. And so he does her a solid.
He could have. Why didn't he kill her? He knows.
Right? So maybe.
Bullet hole in the window, chick in the car, knows what's happening, doesn't do anything.
And you saw her in the bowling alley.
Yeah.
So maybe we've learned something.
Saw her down the hall in the bowling.
Right. So maybe we've learned something about Cordell and Alvin, that they're really maybe kind of. Maybe
they don't kill?
Right. Who is it?
They have to.
No. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. Who is that?
Robin Hood?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Robin Hood. Maybe they're like modern day. We don't know the year in this. Yeah. There's some mixed signals.
What's their motive? And is it pure? And it seems like based on him not killing her, because he knows something's up.
Right.
He may be like that soft heart for people.
And it's like he didn't even think about hurting her. Like he basically was like, I suggest you to get out of here and don't come back.
Right.
Well, Doris. Doris will not be run out of, well, I guess she was.
Unless she's dragged by a chain, but she's not
She said
run.
That's happened to her one time and it'll never happen to her again. So
Yes.
she did not leave town. Yep. Instead, she met Wick to get some information.
Yeah. Is this Mr. Bolo time?
Not quite. Not Mr. Bolo. So she meets Wick, and then she goes to Alvin's landscaping business.
Yes.
To proposition them about working with her.
Yeah.
What did you think about that scene?
Boy, the balls and the confidence on her. I love it.
For sure.
Or the tits. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but she's got them, and she's...
Well, she stays pretty covered up. Pretty modest.
But, she's still got them.
Kind of like a first lady.
Yeah. She's good. Anyways, I really thought that they were going to... I really thought she was going to hit this one out of the park, and she was going to get them to say yes. And they acted like they didn't know anything about it. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't even know if I had thought that far ahead of whether or not they were going to agree. It makes sense they didn't agree because nothing's been easy for Doris. Like, she's had to fight for everything.
Yeah. But she's so charming, and she made Molly, accept that she was going to get her... Molly, she killed her husband. Like, if she talked Molly into it, I figured... This was going to be there's money coming. It's what in their line of career path. Like it's what they do. And looks like she can handle herself.
Well, does she?
Does she look like she can handle herself?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Like to those guys and this prim and proper blonde-haired woman walks up in her
or she's crazy.
Sunday best, right. But either way, they don't want to touch it.
They don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
But so they say no. Well, they just act like they don't know what she's talking about. And she leaves, and right as she's leaving, he looks back at her and then looks back to him. And in that moment, I was like, there's no way that they can let her go. This is the second time, and she now knows who they are and who they stole from.
Right.
So they have to be able to, I'm like, something has to happen.
Yeah, and I think there was even an exchange at the table between Cordell and Alvin where they were like, this is a problem. And the other one was like, yeah, this is a problem.
Yep.
But I like Doris. She does these little one-liners. I know. And she sat down at the table and she looks at their food and she's like, well, this looks good.
Yeah.
And I just love how she just inserts herself and makes herself a part of whatever's happening.
Yes.
Let's take a quick break from Doris. And actually, before we move into our next topic, we're going to take a pause, and Adiamond has a message for you all.
Yeah, you guys, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sharing. I just, tell your friends, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment. We want to hear your take on everything. I want to be able to bring you guys' conversations into our conversation, because you're definitely going to see something we don't see. So please like, subscribe, share, comment. And then if you're on iTunes, rate us. Tell us what you think. We want to know. Also, if you can, just keep watching us. Only if you want to.
And you definitely want to. Keep watching the show. Keep tuning in. Like Adiamond said, please do write, comment. It makes it so much better when we can bring you in on the conversations, and it can be more than just the two of us. Just the two of us. I can't sing.
We can make it if we try.
So we're going to take a break from that, and we're going to talk about love. Aww.
I love love.
I love love.
I love love too.
Especially during the holidays. So we have Meredith and we have Ethan. Both of them young, attractive, seemingly restless people. And they seem to kind of have eyes for each other. What do you think about this?
Well, I do think that Ethan is fighting connecting with her because of what everybody's saying about her.
Yeah, like he wants to connect with her.
He wants to, but he also knows he doesn't want to be a part of this world. He's trying to get himself out. And he also knows that she's tethered and doesn't quite know what that means. And so he doesn't want to play with fire. Meredith, though, I don't even know what her true intentions are. She's still, to me, that person I cannot connect with.
You're not a fan of
I am not
Meredith's
a fan
character.
of this character.
Yeah.
And I think it's because she is so guarded. We don't know a lot about her, and I think that's what's my problem. I can't read her. And so I'm like, I think she's just like a fake, phony, I don't know. Her character is just like, I can't wait to see her character open up.
I think that Adiamond is so smart, and she says so many things that, like, I never even thought about. Like when she said that Meredith was guarded. Yeah, she is guarded, but I think for good reason, because we find out in this episode that she's Bert's daughter.
Yeah.
People are kind of hands off. Like, they can't touch her. She can't get involved with anyone, even if she wants to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that she does have, like, a certain image that she has to uphold, as well as...
It's a kind of a rebellious image, like a succubus rebellious image.
Yeah.
And
certain things that she would like to do that she can't do. And so she's trying to find her voice, figure out who she really is. We realize that she doesn't really know who her mom is. And she's trying to find out, and she's doing things to try to, like, get closer to her mom. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. And I'm sure that Ethan sees all of those things in her and is probably even more attracted to her for those reasons.
And I could be projecting my own issues onto her. So maybe that's what's happening. But it did make me feel a little awkward in the car scene. But I know you felt differently. You loved it.
Oh, I like the car scene. I mean, she just wanted to be touched.
I know.
But Ethan was smart. He was not falling for that. He's like, I'll show you right here.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I need you to show me on my hands.
Yeah.
You can tell that I wish I was a pinup. And he finally, and he finally does touch her. And you don't like that scene. But I thought it was so sweet. The fact that having someone's finger in the palm of your hand, like, touched her.
You should just talk me through that scene, because I think I like it better when you say it.
Yeah, it just seems so, like, intimate.
Yeah.
But in, like, an emotional way.
Yeah.
And the fact, you being Meredith, parades around a club every night, half naked. You have men drooling over you. Yeah. And what touches you is someone's index finger in your palm.
But also, it could be her playing up. I mean, I do think that eventually there's going to be a relationship there, and I do think she really does like him, but she doesn't know him. So this is all could be her playing her little flirtatious burlesque dancer game.
Possibly. For sure.
I just thought that's what it was. I'm like, don't fall for it. Please don't touch her hand.
I get it. I get it. I think she likes him. Or at least there's some interest. He's a new person in town. You have to think about that too.
Yeah. But do you remember, I think in episode 1, or what, I think it's episode 1, yes, when she's like, we see her interacting just normal, and she's the feather, and she's doing her dance and like all that stuff, and then Ethan walks in, and she's like, spots him, and then walks across in front of him and she's just dead staring at him as she does it. So I know she immediately felt that attraction.
Yes.
But, you know, and honestly, I want to see her character murder someone. I want to see her character go crazy. I want to see, like, her, like, get loose. Like, just break it down.
Well, she had the gun. Remember when Maddie dropped her off for the phone call, and I think he says something like, always protecting you, and she pulls out the gun. She's like, yeah, you're trying even when I don't need you to, or something like that. Yeah. So these women are not messing around.
They got to protect themselves.
Right?
They're at a bangarang with a bunch of bikers. Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely no pushovers. I'm like, what else do we find out? So going back to Ethan briefly, he sees Wick in the bar, which was interesting, right? I think that Wick was the catalyst to get him there. We know that Wick has been working with Doris, helping Doris, but Wick still has a relationship with the Brawlers.
Yeah. He's working for them still, yeah.
And so in a way, that's the first time we've seen these worlds kind of overlap, because Ethan was from Doris's world and only from Doris's world. Wick was from Katherine's world, but then came into Doris's world, and now they're all kind of meeting up right here in the middle. So that's the first time we see some overlap.
Yeah.
And we see that Ethan wants to get out.
Yeah.
And Wick's like, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Poor Ethan.
Poor Ethan.
Just a puppet in the game of whatever.
I mean, if he could
of Doris's
love on Meredith, maybe he would feel better. I
don't mind a love scene or two.
Okay, staying
on topic.
Right. So, keeping in line with what we're talking about, staying with Meredith for a minute. So we've learned that she's Bert's daughter.
Yeah. And Bert is this brother of Meredith. I mean, Doris
right.
/ Katherine, yeah.
Right. Her mom, she doesn't know. There seems like maybe there's some rumors.
Maybe she's a stunt woman.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so Meredith does things like she goes to buy this bike as a way to get closer to her mom and to learn about her mom. What do you think about this storyline?
I think it's not going to be true. Like, I don't think the mother is a stunt woman. I think Meredith is going to find that out.
Okay.
And she's going to be... that might set her off. That might set her off to actually get herself out and do it in a way that is so obvious. Like, she's going to make sure everybody knows she's done. She's going to try to find Bert. I don't know. Maybe she's going to use that bike to run away and find Bert and get answers. But I think we're going to find out that the mother is not a stunt woman. She's somebody else, and her dreams of what she thought her mother was are going to be crushed. Like, that's what I think.
Who do you think her mom is? Or where do you think her mom is?
I don't know. We could see her later, and she's just a new character that comes in. I don't think it's somebody we've seen.
Yeah. So
she has to have a mom. What if it's Queenie?
That would be an interesting turn of events. So, I mean, we could kind of say that Meredith is the princess of the Brawlers. And if your princess is trying to escape, then that means that there's trouble in paradise. And another sign of trouble in paradise is at the meeting, the Brawlers meeting, when we find out the ghouls are no longer paying their tax.
Yeah, the little house meeting with yeah. And it's because the 3 River Phoenixes decided to initiate Mr. Ethan in such a way that was going to destroy their truce that they had.
And then that situation was made worse by Bash and his superhuman strength and choking out the leader of the ghouls. And so, in my opinion, it was a good line. I like lines when, Joel asked, and why is them not paying the tax such a big deal? And the answer was because it violates the truce. So that sets us up to see all kinds of stuff. What do you think the future holds?
Well, what it holds is like a possible war, which is what Joel, who I'm kind of finding as being the peacekeeper, didn't want. He's been keeping the peace. As long as they're paying their taxes, we're not going to mess with them. Our gangs can exist at the same time. you know. And I think ultimately he might be trying to just not dismantle the Brawlers gang, but just like bring it in a different direction. But the thing with that is, if you bring it in a different direction that is full of peace, makes you vulnerable to an attack. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the truth has been violated. He's trying to keep the peace. Yes. I hope it works out, but I also don't know if peace is possible.
Right. And he said that the importance of the truce being violated was that now we're forced to do something. We can't just sit back and do nothing. Right. We talked about the car ride. We're going to have to go back to the car ride because so much happened in the car. For me, I like that moment with Meredith and Ethan.
Yeah.
So we had the moment. We see that Meredith is going somewhere. We don't know where she's going. She's asked for a ride. She gets dropped off. We see that she's buying this bike and she has this video.
Well, we see, so she gets dropped off, and then we see her at the phone booth getting picked up by somebody on a motorcycle. And that person is her drug supplier and is also a part of the ghouls.
See, I missed the drug supplier part.
Yeah, they sat together in the little garage area.
Yeah.
And then she
watched the video. That's what I remember, Meredith watching the video.
What video?
See, this is why you need more than one person. Okay, but the other important thing about this car ride is that the three guys, Ethan, Maddie, and the third guy,
Johnson, with the Band-Aid on his nose?
Yes.
Yeah, Johnson.
They take a little trip.
Yeah. Oh, figuratively.
Yeah.
While literally driving on a trip. Yeah. So what was it? Meredith, thanking them for the ride, gives her those little bullet drug things. And they decide to trip.
While driving. And it was beautifully shot, right? So they go through this like colorful smoke cloud thing, and there's like rainbow around them.
Well, and the way they did it, it wasn't like they were immersed in this virtual reality-esque world. It was like I think, and this is a style choice, and I like the style choice, that you can tell that they wanted it to look like their car was in front of a green screen or like inside of a green screen situation, and it's projecting these images, you know, and I liked that style choice. It was very raw and crazy and wild and psychedelic, but also literal with like the cartooning, like it wasn't like, woo, like globs turning into other globs. It was like literal in the sense of the vision, the imagery, and it was really cool. And of course they tell the whole story that they know.
And that's what's important. So
about the controversy between the two.
This is the first time that we get a glimpse of the rift between Katherine and Bert, Doris and Bert.
Yeah, their understanding of what the rift is.
Right, so not from Doris.
Right.
And what we find out is that their story is completely different. Like, they think that Doris, killed all of these people, put the opposing mask on them, and set them up. So I wonder if Ethan at this point knows that Katherine is Doris.
No.
You don't think so?
No way. I don't think so.
Interesting.
Not a chance. He only knows her as Doris, as this. Well, why? Yeah, why wouldn't he cut? I wonder, because he knows Doris sent them to these people, to this gang.
Right.
I don't think he's put two and two together yet, but he could if he was like super like
aware,
in it. And not like worried about like him trying to get out and how much he hates it and whatever. But I don't think he knows yet. But the information is there if he happened to figure it out.
And that was some information. So I'm interested to see and ready to see how that story kind of unfolds in future episodes.
Yeah.
I know, there's so much. So let's go back to Doris.
Yeah, okay.
Doris approached Cordell and Alvin. They said no.
Yep.
So she goes back to Bolo at the bowling alley.
Yes.
Oh, well, before then. So let's back. You're right. So Cordell and Alvin came to visit her at her hotel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I was telling you, remember that when they're at the picnic table and she goes to talk to them the first time, and we're seeing her leave, and in that moment he's like, we can't just let her leave. She now knows who we are. She's told us that she knows, even though we've denied. And so we have to keep tabs on her in some way or give her a warning. So then that's what they go and find her and give her that warning, like, don't make me worried again.
Which then goes back to what we said before, because now she was there when you did the robbery. She's come to your job. You've come to her. She was there when you did the robbery. You meet her on the street. She comes to your job, and now you've gone to her hotel room 4 times, and they still haven't harmed her.
Right.
So that says a lot about them.
Right.
Right?
Or does it? Or is that just the writers just moving the story along somehow?
Well, yes, but
They're
also
not
developing the
cold-blooded either.
characters, right? Because they haven't hurt her, and they're giving her all of these chances and hoping and thinking.
Yeah, no worries.
That words are enough.
Yeah.
Been talking too much tonight. I can't talk anymore.
I'm like shivering in here, like freezing.
So then they leave. They're not willing to help her. She goes back to the bowling alley. She's talking to Bolo again. What did you think about that scene? What did you think that she was going to say to Bolo, and what did you think his response to her was going to be?
Well, I had a feeling that she was going to go back to him. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I knew that was something she could do. But I didn't think that it would be a smart move because if she rats him out, then she loses her team. So she's not spiteful. She wouldn't do that. So when she goes back to talk to Bolo and she kind of baits them with knowing who the robbers are, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what she was doing. I couldn't figure out, I'm like, why is she doing what I thought she could do, but it isn't a smart move? But once again, she's 10 steps ahead of everyone.
Right. Yeah, I thought that she legitimately was going back to Bolo and was saying, like, I have this information, please.
I'll get you your money back if you then help me with my plan.
Right.
I thought that was going to be the...
Right. So did I.
Yeah.
And then once again, Bolo was like, no, absolutely not. But I think she already knew that. Right? So I think that her, like you said, being 10 steps ahead, she already knew that and then planned on just leveraging this entire situation to get what she wanted, which was Cordell and Alvin.
Well, I don't know. I think that when she first went to Bolo, she was hoping that he would. You
mean the very first time or when she went back?
The very first time.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you on that. The very first time.
So I guess the next time she goes back, I thought she was going to make another plan, get their money. They do the whole thing, her whole plan. But then I saw them walk into their landscaping, the 2 robbers' landscaping place, Mr. Bolo and her. And I'm like, I don't know how now they're going to fully work as a team. I'm like, but what about the money? Who gets paid? I mean, it's all the twists and turns. I just love it.
See, I thought that when Bolo was like, no, you're just going to take me to them. I'm not giving you anything in return. And then she walked in with Bolo. Yeah. Like, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can't tell in this show.
So they all sit. So they all get comfy.
Right? They all get comfy.
The 2 robber guys are like, what is about to happen? They're coming in with guns.
Right? But what I did think, I was like, Doris wouldn't do that to these guys. Like, I didn't think she would set them up to be, like, killed. Like, I was like, no. So when she picked up that gun and turned it on Bolo.
I know. I was like, oh, my God, she's facing it towards him. She's going to accidentally shoot him. That's what I was thinking.
Accidentally. That's cute.
I thought that they were going to somehow work as a team somehow. Not that it would be a chain reaction of gunfire, and then it's just her and the 2 guys, and she's like, look what I just did. Can I be a part of your team?
Can we just talk about that gunshot, though? Like, when she shot him, oh, my gosh.
Literally kicked him off his feet.
And her. Like, wow. And even Cordell and Alvin, they're sitting there, and Alvin was like, wow, now. Like, that's something.
Just to have so much faith in your... not like your intelligence, like that is so, like one person's pointing a gun here, and this other person's pointing a gun to him, and it's just, and nobody who had a gun on her. Was it the two guys? She knew.
I think Alvin had the gun on her.
Yeah.
Cordell had the gun on the
to
other
know
guy.
that she's not going to get shot once they hear a fire and freaking just shoot her.
Yeah.
Like, to just have the faith. I mean, she's like, I might as well take my chances. Either I get my team or I die, and then hey, I don't have to worry about getting revenge.
And I have to do my Doris impression. I can't even talk.
Impersonation?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Goodness. So after they've all been killed, and Alvin tells Bernice, we're gonna have to talk about Bernice next time. I really like her.
Yeah, what's her thing about?
Says, call the janitor, and then Doris says, shall I put on a pot of coffee while we wait? And I love that. So we are almost out of time. Let's end this segment with one of my favorite quotes that she says, being underestimated is the greatest advantage that you have over other people.
Especially as a woman.
Yeah.
You know, you have that I hate to say it, it's a lot easier. I don't know how to say this, but women can easily play the victim in order to get what they need. I mean, don't do it, but in this case, she's playing up her strengths.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. And if you're seductive enough, a guy, I don't know what that was. I'm sorry, guys. Live TV.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It might have been my Siri. It is. They're always listening. Sorry. Yeah, you can play to your strengths, and she's smart, intelligent, and seductive, and sweet.
Yeah.
So that's what she's doing. But so
special segment.
Yeah.
Car chases.
Yeah.
Cinematic car chases. Adiamond, take it away.
Yes. Okay, you guys. So I have a kind of a debate that I want you guys to help me figure out. I want to know, I did a little research, okay, to find out what the first car chase on film was. And I've got two videos I'm going to have you guys watch. They're going to play simultaneously. One in 1903 called The Runaway Match, and another one in 1968 called Bullet. Take a look.
Safety first.
Buckle up. I love silent films. Hilarious. All right. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, obviously, so car chases pretty much started at the beginning of the invention of the motor vehicle. But with this one in 1903, it is so short-lived, and I can barely even, I don't know if I can justify that as a chase, more like, I don't know if I could justify that as an actual car chase. So this one in 1968, now that is a car chase. And, even film critics are saying that this is the first one that really should be considered the first car chase on film. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys find more information, better information than I've got, please let me know. I want to know what your thoughts are. When was the first car chase?
That's an interesting debate. I'm going to have to go with a clip in 1968.
Yeah, it's like full-on car chasing, cars getting in the way. I mean, of course, it's, 1903. It's like when films, it's kind of the beginning of stuff. So you can't really have as the expectations you have on stuff now. But that's the point.
We're out of time. If you have a good car chase, why don't you just comment? Let us know what it is, and we can take a look at it. Where can they find you?
All right, guys. Well, my name's Adiamond Baker, and on Twitter and Instagram, you can find me with the handle of not your type. NOT_YUR_
We'll talk about it next time.
TYPE.
I'm LaToya Blakely. I'm on Instagram at LaToya_Blakely. I am on Twitter at Blakely_LaToya. I am also on the after shows for Servant and Steptown. Check them out. Until next time, buzz you later.
Buzz.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.